Hi guys, so in geography we are also doing revision from week 1 to 9. Let's see what you guys can remember. So in week 1 we learnt about our planet. Our planet is called Earth. It is the only planet where plants, animals and people live. The largest areas of the land are called continents. Each continent is divided into smaller areas called countries. Planet Earth travels around the sun. It takes 1 year to go all around. 1 year is 365 days. The Earth is made of rock and metal. The Earth is protected by an enormous blanket of gases called the atmosphere. In week 2, we learnt about what's out in space. In space, there are billions and billions of stars, planets, and a moon. A star is a huge ball of gas. In our part of space, there are 8 planets going around a star called the Sun. Together, they are known as the solar system. The sun gives light and heat to the planets near it. The planets are called Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. In week 3, we learnt about on the moon. The moon has no air and nobody lives there, but people have visited it 6 times. It took them 3 days to get there. That's a long time, hey? People who explore space are called astronauts. An astronaut has to wear a spacesuit to survive outside their spacecraft. The astronauts went to space in a rocket. The Saturn V rocket took the first people to the moon. Can you imagine that? In week 4, we learnt about looking at the Earth. Out in space, there are spacecrafts called satellites and space stations. This is how we learn about our planet. Satellites fly around and around the Earth, but there is no one in them. Satellite pictures can show anything from the beginning of a tropical storm to the size of a large city. Space stations go around the Earth about 400 kilometers. There are up to 6 astronauts that live in a space station. A space shuttle is like a plane that can travel into space. It blasts off like a rocket. The shuttle takes people to space and puts satellites into space stations. In week 5, we learnt about day and night. When it is day for you, it is night for people on the other side of the world. Can you imagine that? Day changes to night and night changes to day because of the earth that turns. The only time it is dark in the day is when the moon blocks out the sun. The earth turns around the sun every day. The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. In week 6, we learnt about the 4 seasons. There are 4 seasons: summer, autumn, winter, and spring. The weather changes from season to season because of the way the earth travels around the sun. Why does the seasons change? The earth is not upright. It is tilted a little to the one side. It takes 365 days for the Earth to go all the way around the Sun. The equator is the line around the middle of the Earth. The bottom part of the Earth is called the Southern Hemisphere, and the top part of the Earth is called the Northern Hemisphere. In week 7, we learned about the weather. There are lots of different kinds of weather. It can be sunny, rainy, windy, or snowy. The 3 main things that make weather happen is sun, the air, and water. There isn't any new water on the earth. It is just the same rainfall again and again, which will be the water cycle. Snowflakes are made of tiny pieces of ice. Every snowflake is different, but they all have 6 points. You always see a rainbow after it rains. This is because the sun shines through tiny drops of water. The sunlight divides into all the colors in the rainbow. In week 8, we learnt about storms and winds. In a big storm, the wind blows very hard. There's usually lots of rain or snow. There might be lightning and thunder too. A tornado is a spinning funnel of wind. It swirls along, sucking up anything in its path. Lightning is a big spark of electricity in the sky. Thunder is the noise that spark makes. A hurricane is a huge storm with lots of wind and rain. It can destroy towns and forests. A tsunami is a series of waves caused by an earthquake. Tsunamis are giant waves. Last but not least, in week 9 we learned about rocks and fossils. There are lots of kinds of rocks. Some are made by heat inside the earth. Others are made from sand, mud, and pieces of dead plants and animals. Sand, mud, and pieces of plants and animals that sink and settle at the bottom of the sea are known as sediment. Fossils are the stony remains of animals that lived millions of years ago. Most fossils are found in sedimentary rock. When an animal dies, the soft part rots away and only bones are left. They sink into the mud and get covered in sediment. Millions of years later, people sometimes find fossils, bones or shells inside the rock.
That's all, folks.